So what's going on, you guys? It's me back at again with another Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy video, and this again is in regards to the Kingdom figures, specifically the Netflix Wave 3 figures. And this mainly consists of a few Kingdom figures, some characters from Siege, and Earthrise as well. So without further ado, let's just talk about the new Netflix Wave 3 figures. Alright, so this character, or characters I should say, showed up in Siege, and this you might know as one of the Sparkless characters, or the zombie Transformers, whatever you want to call them. And as you could probably tell, this is just a repaint of the Siege barricade figure. Just a rusted up recolor basically. And yeah, I gotta say the rusted painted details and all that looks really good. I just think that the head sculpt should have been changed to look more like a zombie instead of just having Barricade's regular face. But other than that, I do think that the robot mode does look pretty cool. I think I can also sort of say the same for the vehicle mode. Again, it is just a repaint of the Siege barricades, so it's only the paint that's going to be changed. I do wish there were some cracked details to show that, you know, this is indeed a broken, rotting, rusting Transformer. But these are in the Netflix line of figures, so obviously they're going to be repaints or also just new figures that are a pain to find. And now next up we have the Netflix deep cover. But yeah, deep cover is basically a blue side swipe or something like that. I don't know, I have never heard of this character. But we are also getting a Generation Selects version of this figure, which is kind of weird because the Netflix version and the Generation Selects version, the blue and the black colors are swapped, which is weird. I don't know if this is a thing with the character. Again, I haven't heard of this character before, but just a thing to point out. But other than that, I do think the character deep cover does look pretty cool, even if he is just a direct replica of Sideswipe, just in blue. And I think same goes for the vehicle mode. I didn't have the Siege Sideswipe. I didn't get a chance to buy that figure, but I do really love the robot and the vehicle mode. I think they both look really, really nice, and it just looks like a Cybertronian Lamborghini if I were to ever see one. So yeah, it looks good. And now next up is probably one of my favorite repaints from the Netflix line so far, and this is the Decius Army drone. And this was indeed in Earthrise, but it was kind of sort of a blink and you'll miss type of thing. So you really had to be paying attention in Earthrise. But there's basically a whole army, like a whole armada of just this certain type of design. And I thought that was pretty cool. And also, this is one of my favorite repaints. I love the gray, the white, the black, and the scuff up colors and details. I think it looks really, really nice. And as you could probably guess, this is just a direct repaint of the Siege Ironhide, which I've been told is a really, really good figure. But again, I never got my hands on the Siege Ironhide figure, or a lot of the Siege figures actually. But I did get my hands on the Earthrise Ironhide and the Earthrise Prowl 2-pack, and I'm happy I did. Seriously though, those figures were a nightmare to track down. And I don't think I'm the only one that says that. I'm pretty sure every single person that got that 2-pack can agree that it was a total nightmare trying to track them down. Hey, and my Ironhide has a slight crack in the joint of the windshield, because it's made out of clear plastic. But anyways, that's a video for another day. Let's talk about the vehicle mode. And taking a look at the vehicle mode, I gotta say, I think the scuffing up details and all that really, really shine in the vehicle mode because it's just so wonderfully done, and I think it is so much better done than the Siege figures, in my opinion anyway. And I also do like how the missiles and the missile launcher are in fact green, as well as the Decius logo on the front of the hood and also in robot mode, but I forgot to mention that. But yeah, other than that, I think this deluxe figure in the Wave 3 Netflix line has to be one of my favorites, and one of my favorites in the entire Netflix line so far. But it's not as cool as the Netflix cheetor. And so here is the Netflix cheetor, and as you could guess, it is just a repaint of the regular released Kingdom cheetor, but in way better paint apps. Like on the Kingdom Cheetor, he had this sort of ugly baby blue, and for the cheetah parts, it was this sort of ugly yellow I didn't really like. But on this cheetor, the yellow is a lot more better, and the blue is much more metallic and very accurate to what we saw in Beast Wars. But yeah, I gotta say, the new Netflix version of Cheetor looks so much better than the Kingdom Cheetor, though I do wish his weapon was just kind of, sort of, painted. You know what, I can live. And I think I can safely say the same for the Cheetah mode. I think it looks really, really nice. I honestly do not really have any sort of complaints for the Cheetah mode or the Robo mode. I think this is a really, really nice repaint of Cheetor. And that was all the Netflix Deluxe figures, so let's take a look at the Netflix Voyager figures. So first up, we have the Netflix 2-pack of both Optimus Primal and Rat Trap. Now, upon first glance, it doesn't really look like much has changed, but if you do look closely, the colors are definitely a lot more darker on both Optimus Primal and Rat Trap. And me personally, I do love the look of these repaints, even though the differences between the Netflix version and the mainline versions are a little hard to see. I think they do look really cool, and you get two figures in one box, Optimus Primal and Rat Trap, which I think is actually really cool. But yeah, both Maximal and Beast Mode I think look really, really good. And honestly, I don't really have any other complaints other than I do wish there was a few more differences between these two figures and the original Kingdom versions, because the differences are kind of hard to see. And now next up, we have the Sparkless Seeker 3-pack, which I believe is just a repaint of Hotlink or literally any other Siege Seeker mold. Now, since this is just a direct repaint, there really isn't much to talk about other than it's a Seeker and it has two Battle Masters, which was kind of weird because we never really got to see any sort of zombie Sparkless Battle Masters or any sort of Battle Masters in the entirety of the War for Cybertron trilogy, so it's there anyways, so yeah. But still, I think the colors on this repaint look really, really good, and I don't really have any other complaints or anything else to say. So let's get to the nitty and the gritty, which is the Netflix spoiler pack. And now before we go any further, there might be spoilers and all that ahead, so if you want to click off the video, I would suggest maybe kind of sort of click off now. I mean, it's nothing big or major, but it's kind of something, but I mean, you'll kind of be disappointed, but anyways, let's just see what the spoiler is inside. You've been warned. And so here we have the Netflix spoiler pack of Megatron and Paleotrex or Crystallux or whatever this guy's name is. And honestly, I was kind of disappointed with this spoiler pack because we're getting another Siege Megatron, and to top that off, we already had a Netflix Siege Megatron, so it's kind of bland and kind of boring and kind of disappointing that we're getting another one. But you gotta forgive this one because the context and what they did to this Siege Megatron is actually somewhat forgivable. Because if you look closely on the Siege Megatron, you can see that this is in fact a lot more accurate to what we did see of him in Siege. I'd say the paint apps are much more better, and yeah, it looks a lot more accurate to Siege. And I gotta say, the purple color scheme on Paleotrex or Crystallux or whatever this guy's name is, I think looks really, really nice. Now, I think what really has everyone's attention, including mine, is the accessories, because if you look at the top, you can see that Megatron is going to come with the Matrix of Leadership with some chains on it that you can actually put on, and we'll show that later. But yeah, if you remember, at the end of Earthrise, Megatron does indeed steal the Matrix from Optimus Prime, and he just ran off with it, and well, I guess this is what's going to happen to it now. It's just going to be in chains and around him. Now, one thing that I think some people might miss is this yellow blob of something. And well, judging by the shape, I believe that this is the Allspark. Which, well, I believe Megatron might actually get his hands on the Allspark, so Kingdom is going to be interesting, definitely. As for the vehicle modes or alternate modes, I think that Crystallux or Paleotrex does look really cool, and Megatron's tank mode looks really good as well. And as you can see, you can actually store the Matrix on the tank mode, which is nice vehicle storage. And this is the sort of combined mode for Megatron, and since Crystallux slash Paleotrex is a fossilizer, he can be taken apart and put as armor for your War for Cybertron trilogy figures. And I think that looks really, really good, especially on Megatron. And also, as you can see, the Matrix, since it is in chains, you can store it on Megatron's chest, and you can store the Allspark on Megatron's left shoulder. And, well, that's basically it for the new wave of the Netflix figures for the War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom. And so, talking about my final thoughts of this new wave of Netflix figures, I gotta say, I do like a lot of the figures we've gotten so far. Like the two Sparkless spots, I think look really nice. Deep Cover seems pretty cool. The Decius Army drone looks really nice. I love the way that figure looks. The Netflix Cheetor, I think, looks much better than the original Kingdom Cheetor. The Optimus Primal and Rat Trap 2-pack looks pretty cool, though it is hard to see the differences. And last but not least, the Netflix spoiler pack for Megatron and Paleotrex slash Crystallux. I don't know. Someone can let me know in the comments, hopefully. I think looks interesting. But enough about me. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you liked the video, click the like button. If you want, subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And click the notification bell so you won't miss videos like this. And I'll see you all in the next video. So as always, stay home, stay safe, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye-bye.